Koichi Uchiyama presents The God Channel. Konoha is here today. Actually, we were about to have a meeting with the staff. A spirit person has come, so I would like to record it. I don't know who will be able to come, but I'd like to try. Please join your hands in prayer. So, please prepare with thanks to the Lord. Konoha, please get ready. Try to imagine the video.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Now, the person standing above me. Thank you for coming. Please come to Elena. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for coming. Could you please tell me your name?
I am Alain Delon.
Thank you very much for joining us. Mr. Alain Delon, I would appreciate it if you could say a few words. Thank you in advance.
This is my first time coming to a place like this, but somehow, I ended up here. I suppose right now, yes, I'm still halfway in the world of the living and halfway in the afterlife. It feels like I'm floating between the two. However, within myself, I had already been gradually moving toward this world from some time ago, going back and forth. That's why my heart is at peace, because I've made that journey between the world of the living and the afterlife many times. I never imagined that there would be a time like this when, after death, my consciousness would still exist. It's actually a bit surprising. But perhaps I'm here because I wanted to convey something as my final words. I am an actor from France, loved by people all over the world. Known as the greatest leading man of the century. Many of you probably know me, but there are also many young people who may not. I lived a dazzling life. Of course, there were conflicts within it. I had thoughts and emotions that I couldn't show to others. Strong inner conflicts, and there were days when I cried out of weakness. There were times when I felt so troubled and anxious that I didn't know what to do. But I never showed it on the outside. After all, I was Alain Delon, the great actor of the century. So I couldn't show that kind of face. That's what I believed. No matter what I was doing or where I was seen from, I had to be the leading man. And perhaps I truly was. It may sound strange for me to say, but wherever I went, people looked at me with shining, envious eyes. I was able to live such a life, and I am grateful to God for that. It was truly a happy life. As an actor, I was given the opportunity to play various roles and experience many different lives. I was also privileged at times simply because I was considered beautiful. I thought of it as a perk of the job. However, the more I was in that position, the more I pursued the question of what kind of person the truly wonderful Alain Delon was. What was the image of Alain Delon that the audience desired? I sometimes wondered if I was the one who understood it the least. I struggled with that gap. Those who do similar work will probably understand this. But I was always trying to get closer to the ideal image that people had of me. What was expected of me? What was my true self like? The sloppy, timid, and slightly sly side of me was not what anyone wanted. I felt that I couldn't show that side. Because I was the leading man of the century, I couldn't. Rather, I believed that even if I appeared unflattering, I would still be seen as cool. That's what it meant to be a leading man. That's what I thought. So, I imagine that people saw my life as a very elegant one. Right now, I'm saying thank you to all the people who have helped me. There are so many of them that I can only visit each one for a brief moment. But there are many people I need to thank. As I repeat this process, I realize how fortunate I was. I've never expressed so much gratitude all at once before, but that's what I'm doing now. As I keep repeating thank you over and over, I think about how much I've received, and it brings me to tears with joy and emotion. I feel that I was truly loved by many people. Even after I return to the spirit world, I will remain Alain Delon for a while. I will probably continue working as Alain Delon here as well. I'm thinking of going back to my youth and starting over from scratch. By the time I finish that, I'll probably be thinking about my next life. How I want to live, what I want to learn, and what I want to give. When I think about it, being beautiful is a wonderful thing. I received a lot, but now I realize that I also gave a lot. When I was alive, I felt that I was mainly on the receiving end. But now I realize that I gave quite a lot too. This realization came when I was going around thanking people and learning how much they loved me. Of course, I wasn't aware of it, but now I feel it more intimately. I can feel that I was truly loved from the bottom of their hearts, so much that it warms my own heart. So, to be honest and straightforward, I think I've continued to give everyone something wonderful. That's why I can now honestly and sincerely acknowledge that maybe. So, I believe that being beautiful is a wonderful thing. Therefore, when I am reborn, I will likely be born as a leading man again. I realize that it's a powerful thing. And I believe it's not just about physical beauty, but also about the beauty within. Because, after all, the state of one's heart is reflected outward. When I think about it that way, I don't feel too bad. Thank you for giving me such a rich life. I would also like to thank the people of Japan. I really love the country of Japan. Japanese people are straightforward, honest, kind and friendly. Above all, you are considerate. I think you are a wonderful people who are considerate of others. I hope that this national character will never be lost. That's beautiful. It's beautiful. All Japanese people are beautiful, that's what I think, so please don't ever lose that beauty. I truly hope so. Thank you everyone, I appreciate it. Well, until we meet again next time.
Thank you very much. Konoha, do you have any questions?
I was surprised. Sadly, I heard the news yesterday that he had passed away. He was 88 years old, so I think he had lived a full life. My mother loved him and I watched his movies when I was little. He was truly beautiful, beautiful from every angle. I think Alain Delon is a man who truly deserves the word beautiful. I felt so much love hearing what you just said. I'm glad to hear you say, I'm filled with gratitude. You said that you want to take some time now to reflect on your life. You also said that from now on you want to reflect on your actions and think about what you have contributed. Once that's done, you said, you'd like to think about reincarnation. Mr. Alain Delon, have you always understood the concept of reincarnation?
Well, when I was young, I didn't think about such things. I didn't really consider that after death, a person returns to the afterlife and then is reborn. However, as I grew older, and especially after my health started to decline, I found myself often going back and forth between this world and what I would call heaven. There were times when that happened. As I repeated that experience, I began to wonder if perhaps reincarnation was real. And once I arrived here, I intuitively understood that it indeed was. I realized that there are things you can only understand when the time comes. Before then, when I was healthy, I never thought about such things. I might have considered it possible, but with no proof, I couldn't believe it. I tended to think that death was the end. But as I gradually came closer to death and started going back and forth between this world and the afterlife, I naturally came to understand it. That's how it feels.
Thank you. Moving on to the next question. You mentioned being beautiful again when you are reborn. But have you considered being born without the physical appearance? You have now and instead challenging yourself with the beauty that lies within your heart?
You say something intriguing. Perhaps that could be a possibility. I just thought so. I've been handsome my entire life, so I know how wonderful that life was. Of course, I also know the parts that weren't so great, but because I learned that beauty has power, it felt natural for me to want to be born beautiful again next time. However, thinking the way you do, I might discover something even more interesting. I might be able to learn something deeper, something beyond just physical beauty. I realize that now. Thank you.
Is that okay?
Thank you very much.
Mr. Alain Delon, thank you for coming so soon after your death. Apparently, we go back and forth between this world and the afterlife just before we die, and it's not clear how long we stay in each world. And I have heard that we will be able to return to heaven gradually. I think that is exactly the case. I look forward to seeing you in action in the heavens. Maybe I'll go back to heaven and see you there too. So please take care of me. Thank you so much for coming today.
ありがとうございました。ありがとうございました。
I have been thinking about what Konoha said while listening to Alain Delon's words.
ああ、ねえ、あ、そうで
His
すか。
next life will be themed on beauty of the heart. Can he stand it?
うーん、
What answer will the heavens give him?
ね、
Without permission, we cannot be born.
うん、ね、
What will become of him?
そうですね。まだ海
He
外
has only been dead for a day.
そうですね。考え方が、大きいと思いますね。
But he has a very flexible mindset. Soft.
うん、
That's what it feels like.
そうですね。
I wonder if he is a very high-ranking spirit?
He had a very difficult childhood and has been through a lot since then.
本当にそういう経験も得ながら、営業したんでっていうこと
He was very handsome, and I think he learned a lot from being beautiful.
っていうのをものすごくされた方だったんじゃないかなと思いますね。
I think he was the target of a lot of jealousy and envy.
Yes, and I think he's worked really hard to become someone who can meet everyone's expectations.
That's true.
That's all. Thank you very much.
ありがとうございました。